Fill your boots, our Hungry Man English special going out. Thank you, girls. Good job. Fill your boots, fill your boots. Good job, baby. Okay, pancake platter, wait a minute, pancake platter, BLT with egg and cheese, SOS with scrambled eggs. Special, Thailand. Okay, okay. Yep. Yep. Just joking. One pork chop, single pork chop special scramble. Thanks, buddy. Take care. One single pork chop special scramble. Got toast? Okay, good. Hash browns. Oh, they look good. Oh, yeah. Alright, scrambled eggs. Rock and roll. Alright, let's see about the pork chop. Oh yeah, she should be good to go. Oh, looking pretty. Oh yeah, looking good. A little bit more. Alright, rock and roll, rock and roll. Pork chop's almost up. Brown. Good. Okay, pork chop coming. There we go. Single pork chop special going out. Thank you, ladies. Good job, good job. Today we're making the Pat Moo, and this is what we call a Maritai because it has a little bit of American twist because I'm the American chef. First you take your garlic, your onion, and your red hot Thai chili peppers. You know, I chop them up a little bit and then put them in the pounder and get all that pounded together. Put a little oil in the pan, and so start out with your onion, your garlic, and your hot chili peppers. And it's important to really have a hot pan. Now I use cast iron. This is kind of a wok style cast iron. You see I've got a bowl so I can put stuff up on the rim, right? Out of the bottom if I want, right? So it's you can control it like a wok, and actually it's even better with the cast iron because you can really control your temperature. So you want to really get those Thai chili peppers seared off really good until you can hardly breathe, right? So you can tell when you're really getting them seared off, the air gets a little difficult to breathe. So that's what you want. And so as soon as you got the peppers to that point, the onions and the garlic are going to be a little translucent, right? A little bit clear, not too much. Then just crank the fire down, right? Crank it all the way down. Whoop. So yeah, all the way down to a low fire, right? It's where we want to go now. So really, really low before we add the ground pork. And what we got here is going to do about a half a kilo of ground pork. So I've got a half a kilo here with the weight of the plate, right? So I'm going to toss that in. The fire's nice and low now. You see how I had the peppers and onion and garlic kind of pushed to the side. So the pork's going to go right in the middle. No hurry to stir. We're going to let that brown off. We got the fire really low. All right. Now we don't want to cover it yet. Okay. Just let it sear. Oh yeah, and before I dump the pork in there, I added another full tablespoon of oil. The pork, the ground pork, is really lean here in Thailand, so it doesn't produce its own oil. So you need that tablespoon in there before you drop your pork in. Okay, now I use coconut oil. Some people like the EVOO, right? Extra virgin olive oil. Up to you. I prefer the coconut oil because to me it has zero flavor and it's low in trans fats, and it really just goes well with any brown meats. So now that we got that first little brown on the pork in the center, we're going to go ahead and stir in all of those wonderful chili peppers, the onion, and the garlic, right? So we got a first little brown on there, and you can see how quickly it soaked up that little bit, that 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, right? You really need that, or you're going to get a lot of sticking with this ground pork here in Thailand because it's very, very lean. All right, so we want all those flavors to be infused, and of course the best way to do that is to get your lid on it now. And remember, the entire time we're doing the pork, the fire is really low. We already got the chili peppers and onions and garlic seared off, so we just want to slow cook that pork. In addition to the bacon grease, I like to throw in a cup, 1 cup of whole salted pure butter. And for the roux, you really only need 1 tool. You need a really good whisk. So again, our fire's real low, right? We're not in a big hurry to heat this bacon grease and butter, right? So this is the only tool you're going to need for your roux. Remember, fire on low, fire on low. I really like this burner. It's got the wind-free covering on the burner, so you can really get a low fire, and it sets up kind of high there too. So in the meantime, what's going on with the Pakr Pal? All right. Yeah, slow cooking all that flavor. Now remember, the way I like to do it is sear off the peppers, garlic, and onion really well first. I don't need a hot fire at this point. I like doing the pork slow. Of course, we want to break our pork up a little bit. You can leave it a little chunky. You don't have to have it real fine minced, right? More ingredients to come, but right now we're just finishing the meat. Roux, slowly melting here, which is what we want. Important to use a pretty good size skillet. I got a 10-inch here. There's a reason for that when you make your roux. Okay, now I turn the fire up on the bacon grease and the butter, and we want to start adding some flour. So the whisk is really all you need. And you know, you don't really have to worry about measure. You're just going to go with consistency of the thickness of it, right? So you start adding flour slowly here. Well, you can kind of tell. You don't want to get it too thick, right? So just add slowly. Start to come together like a paste, right? This is a really good skillet. It allows you to use metal. It's got a really good baked on surface, so you know, be careful of that. If you're using non-stick stuff that won't tolerate metal, you're going to need a soft whisk, right? A plastic whiskers. Right now, here's one of the tricks to a really good roux. Now we want to turn our fire on. Can you believe that? Why would you do that? Huh? Kept a fire low all this time? Well, we want to scorch it. We want to get a little bit of scorch flavor into that roux. Okay. Now we're pretty much done with the whisk. We're going to sit here and watch it boil up. Right? Bring it up off your fire. Control your heat this way. Go back down to hot. Scorch it. Scorch it. Right? Really, really fire underneath there, isn't there? Right? Scorch it. Right? Shut her down. Shut her down. She's good. She's good. What's going on over here? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're talking flavor getting embedded in with all of that ground pork. It's not going to be a flavorless portion of the meat. All right. Let's go to the next step on this. Now that we're finished with our roux, just let it cool. My meat's browned off really well. Got all the flavors mixed into it. And you know, with iron, you always want to use a wooden spoon. Really is the best. You definitely never want to use plastic, right? You don't want any melted plastic in your food. Wood is just, I think, the best for iron. Anyway, now we want to add 3 sauces. The first one is oyster sauce, and it's kind of up to you. We've got a pretty good portion here, right? Half a kilo. Okay, yeah. Back the camera off a little bit there. I was getting a little too close of a shot. So we did our oyster sauce, right? Then we want to do some mushroom sauce. And then finally, we want to do some dark soy. So put dark soy on there. Now, it's really up to you on the measurements, depending on how much meat you got there, right? A lot of people like really saucy, sloppy style Packer Pal. Me, I prefer to have enough sauce to where all the meat is really moist, but I don't want it running all over my plate. So, up to you. You can kind of see what we got going on there, right? So, we want to simmer this, and then we've got one more ingredient to add. So we got that simmering in there pretty good, right? You don't need to cover it at this point. Just keep stirring it occasionally. Keep that all those sauces evenly mixed in, right? Let it go back to simmering. All right, one more ingredient or 2 more ingredients. Yes, it's 2 more ingredients. Little bit of natural cane sugar. You don't have to go overboard on the sugar. I like 2 teaspoons. That's stirred in. You can see it's got some sauce, right? It's gonna have a little gravy to it, right? But not too much. And then there's one more thing we're gonna put in that's gonna soak up a little bit of that sauce too. And I'm sure you know what that is, because Packer Pal translates to stir-fried basil, right? All right. So stir it in good, right? So how do we do this basil? Well, first thing, just take all the leaves off the stem. No heavy stem, right? And be generous with it. Use a big old pile of it. Number 1 rule, turn your fire off. You're done. Don't overcook your basil, okay? Your pan's still hot, right? Fire's off. Ka-ching. Right? That's all you need to do. And then stir that into the hot stuff. And you're done. I'm telling you, be generous with your Thai basil. Now this is the Thai basil, and I've made the mistake of buying the wrong basil before. And my wife corrected me, no, that's not what we use for Packer Pal. So this isn't the sweet basil, right? This is the Thai basil. Takes a bit to get it stirred in. But it's cooking, right? Your greens are cooking in a hot pan, no fire. Right. Well, I got quite a bit of sauce in there. Right. It's pretty saucy, babe. All right. Oh, look at that. That's what we want. Spread out. It's got quite a bit of sauce in there at the bottom, you see? Pretty saucy. Up to you if you want to add a little bit more. And like Yin said, you can always just add a little bit of water on the tail end, which is no problem. But what I like to do is put the lid on it at this point, and then we can judge the thickness after it has set for a while. Right? No fire, lid on, hot pan, finished. Roux, ready to go. Right? Heavy paste. Now, just put that in a big old jar or a big coffee cup and set it to the side. You can use it for all your gravies and sauces and everything. Perfect thickener.